Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. So last two session, we went through just the basics of the digital image processing, and we also uh, went through what are the different applications and the basic. We haven't touched in depth what actually image processing is. So from this session onwards, we'll go with the in-depth of image processing. So digital image processing. So there will be little bit of mathematics, little bit of other concepts involved, so that we can understand the digital image processing clearly. Okay. So the actual digital uh, image processing will be starting from now onwards. Okay. So I want everyone to be able to be more clear. And if you don't understand at any point, please let me know at that point itself. Okay. So this concept has to be clear. If these concepts are clear, then only you will be able to understand in depth of image processing. So today we will understand the concept of visual information. We will also define what is image. We will know what are common values which are involved with the image, and we are going to use these common values to do different processing on image. We'll also understand the characteristics of image operations. So let's first understand what is visual information. Visual information. So here we will take consideration of our visual system, that is human visual system. And last session, like I said last session also, that this visual system of human beings are very remarkable, and they are much complicated than what we think of. Okay. So the visual system of any living being is very complicated and very high in processing. So if you just think about human visual system, so if we just think about our visual system, then we know that our eyes and brain coordination is very complicated and very remarkable, in sense that our eyes, whatever information our eyes capture, that information is processed by our brain. That means in milliseconds also, the information which is captured, that is processed, and that is in by processing that, the simulation happens to our body, right? So some if some ball is coming towards us, then our hands automatically go to catch the ball, or we move out of the path of the ball. This happens in milliseconds. So this is very complicated system. So human visual system is very complicated, and it is the, what we can say, most advanced visual system we can have. Okay. So now if we look into this, and if we want to replicate this for machines, using machines, is it possible? That question we have to ask. If we want to replicate our human visual system, that is eyes and brains, whatever eyes and brain can do, if we want to do the same thing with the machine, Will we able to do it? Of course, we won't be able to do it with the technology which we have right now. Okay, but what we can do, let's see that. Okay, so for making visual system for the machines, uh, few assumptions or few ramifications has been made. So out of the first restriction which is applied is that we say that for machines, the visual system or visual information is limited to finite image size. So if we consider our eyes doesn't just look for a finite image size. It looks total scene, right? And out of the total scene, our brain easily can identify many different things at single given time. That is our visual system. But the same thing if we are going to do for machine, it won't be possible. So we say that we need to have finite image size. Generally, that image size will be in rectangular window, right? So that whatever the information in that rectangular window is, whatever information, image information that rectangular window has, that is what we say it as visual information. Okay, so for machine, visual information is just the information which is inside a finite rectangular window, and it's not infinite rectangular window. Okay, it is just a finite rectangular window. The second assumption which has to be made is that in an image we cannot have the capability of getting the depth, right? For our visual system, we can easily identify how far a particular thing is. That is how deep a particular thing is. So if you look into an image, can you identify how deep a particular thing is? How far a particular thing is? No, of course not. So depth perception will not be allowed in the images. Okay, if it is 3D technology, which we call it as 3D technology, if we have 3D technology, then we can say that we can even prescribe the depth. But if it is just normal image, in that normal image, we cannot see the depth, right? So these two assumption has to be there. That first assumption is uh, the image is just the visual information is just for a finite window, rectangular window. And second is within that rectangular window, we cannot say how deep is particular object, or we cannot have capability of depth perception. Okay. So these two things we will consider, we will make the assumption. So once we make these two things as a assumption, then we can easily say that the setup which we just talked by using these two assumption, that the problem now only becomes the calculation of the wavelength or amplitude of light passing through each point of that window. Okay, so each point of the window, so we have a window, in that window each point, what is the intensity of light at that point, that is only the visual information we require. So intensity of wavelength and wavelength and intensity of light. Why we require wavelength and intensity? Wavelength is associated with color, right? So wavelength here we are using for color, and intensity for the brightness of that color. Okay. So for example, this PPT has, it's a rectangular window, right? The PPT which you are looking on your, which you are seeing on your screen, that is a rectangular window and it's a image, right? So if it is an image, then at each point, the intensity and wavelength, the first point where my pointer is, if you look at that point, the wavelength is of white color and intensity is at highest. That's why it is bright white color, right? Whereas now at this point, at the box, that is the title box. So at that point, the wavelength is of blue color and intensity is not maximum. It is somewhere between, right? That's why it is seen as a light blue color. So this is what the information we are looking for, visual information. That is, we are looking for wavelength and amplitude of the light that passing through each point of that particular window. Okay, then only with that visual information we can now process that visual information, and that is what is called as image processing. So this complete thing now we can represent it numerically using just light energy and wavelength and in a finite area of a window. So we have finite area of window and we have the wavelength for color and the light energy for the brightness, and these three things are enough to represent any image mathematically. Why we want to represent the image in mathematically? Of course we want to represent the image mathematically because uh, once we get the mathematical equation, then only we can apply some type of operators to that mathematical form, and we can convert it into another form, and that is what we are going to do in image processing. Now if we preview that, if you assume another assumption that the image is monochromatic, that means now we are not considering color. Okay, so if we don't consider a color, then, and we are also assuming that it's a static. Okay, so here we are considering image, we are not considering video. So as we are considering image, so it will be static, right? And we are saying that it is monochromatic. Monochromatic means only one color. Mono, one. Okay. So monochromatic means only one color. So if we consider only one color, then there is no requirement of wavelength because we are considering only single wavelength. Okay. So at that time, it again becomes very easy. Now we don't have requirement of wavelength. So everything will be depend on just light energy. So now the visual information will be just the light energy at each point of the window. Okay, at each point of the window, what is the light energy? That is it. Okay, so that is nothing but what we say as gray image or black and white image. Okay, so we are just considering gray image, that is monochromatic image. So it's a shade of grays, shade of black and white, and that's why we call it as monochromatic image. And if we impose a Cartesian coordinate in it, now everyone remember Cartesian coordinate? I hope everyone remembers Cartesian coordinate, x, y axis, and we start from 0, 0 to some particular number, and same way y. Then we can identify, if we say 2 comma 3, then 2 comma 3 is a point where x axis is 2 and y axis is 3, and the intersection of those two is the point where x is 2 and y is 3. That is that point we label it as 2 comma 3, right? So now image is also a rectangular window. So at a corner of this window, we can say that it's a origin, that is 0 comma 0, and one side is x and another side is y. So once one side is x and another side is y, then each point in that window we can represent it with the coordinate system, that is 2 comma 2 or 2 comma 3 and so on, right? And the intensity at that point can be given by f of x comma y. So intensity at 2 comma 3 will be given by f of 2 comma 3. Got it? I hope this is clear for everyone. Cartesian coordinates, I hope everyone is clear with. Please reply, because this is important concept. Once you understand this, image processing will be easy. If you don't understand this, then image processing will be very difficult for you. I'm waiting for reply. Okay, good. So you are able to understand. So that is good. Again, some of you want to repeat. So let's see. Okay, I will take out a paper. Okay, let's say this is a rectangular window. Okay, uh, can you see my video? So this paper is a rectangular window which we are talking about. So in this paper rectangular window, we are saying that this point, at this point, is the origin, or we can say this is the origin. Okay, and here we are incrementing 1 2 3 4 5 6, and here also we are incrementing 1 2 3 4 5 6, or let's say this is origin, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 1 2 3 4 5 6 and so on. Okay, now if I want a point here, then this point can be given by, let's say here x is 2 and here y is 3, and this point is 2 comma 3. So we are representing just this point. So we say that 2 comma 3, this is the point in this window. And what is the intensity of light here? That can be given by function of the point 2 comma 3. Okay, so we are saying that 2.2 comma 3 is this point, and the intensity at this point is nothing but f of 2 comma 3. So intensity will be given by function of the point. Okay, so that's how we can actually tell the information, visual information. So complete visual information will be the point and the intensity at that point. So for uh, 0 comma 0, intensity is f of 0 comma 0. For 0 comma 1, intensity is f of 0 comma 1. For 0 comma 2, intensity is f of 0 comma 2, and same way for 1 comma 0, intensity is f of 1 comma 0. For uh, 2 comma 0, intensity is f of 2 comma 0, and so on. So for point 4 comma 8, intensity is f of 4 comma 8, and so on. So we have pair, point and intensity, two pairs, and there will be these two pair for all the points in that particular rectangular window. So that is what visual information is. Now is it clear? Now is it clear? How it differentiate between dark and less dark? That is a question. Now, dark and less dark is just the intensity. So let's say that intensity, let's for an example, let's consider actual what happens that we are going to look into. But for an argument's sake, let's assume that the intensity of a light here is from 0 to 10,000. Complete intensity 0, that is missing energy, missing is black, and 10,000, intensity of 10,000 luminous. So intensity is measured in luminous, light intensity is measured in luminous. Let's say that 0 luminous is black and 10,000 luminous is white. Okay, then what about 5,000 luminous? It is in between black and white, so it will be a grayish color, right? It won't be black, it won't be white, it will be grayish color. What about 2500 luminous? It will be more towards the dark and less towards the light. Okay, more towards black, less towards white. So it will be more darkish color, but it will be gray, but more darkish color. Okay. What about 7500? It is more towards white, less towards black, right? So it will be light gray color. So this way we can differentiate different gray levels in the image. Okay, got it? So in image, when we come to image, I will show you how these different colors are. Okay, just gray scale, there are different shades of gray. How these different shades of gray can help us visualize, that we will see. Okay, any other doubts? Shall I move forward? Okay. So if we then consider this, then visual information or image is nothing but for any instant of time to consider, then image is nothing but what it is? It is just f of in square bracket m comma n. We say square bracket m comma n because now we are saying it in digital form. So digital form means in a discrete space. So in a discrete space, it is nothing but the sampling taken from continuous space. F of x comma y is nothing but continuous space. But for storing the image, for doing different image processing technique, we need to digitalize the image. That's why digital image is nothing but it's a sampling version of continuous image, and which is frequently referred as digitalization. So here you can see this is the image. So in this clearly you can see different shades of gray. Now is it clear? Different shades of gray. Now this, let me highlight this. This is complete black, but this particular shade is not black nor white. It is a light grayish color. And this particular shade is either not black nor gray, but it is dark grayish color. Got it? So we get different shades of gray, and these different shades of gray actually makes the image, that is the light intensity. Okay. So while continuous image will have continuous intensity, but we cannot store continuous intensity, so we take samples. So here this box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, and so on, this each box is a sample. Okay, so we take a sample, whatever the value is at that sample, that value is stored. Okay, not complete continuous values, but the values at a sample. So equal distance samples we are going to take in row wise and column wise also, and the intensity at that particular sample point will be stored, and this is nothing but digitalization. So if we consider this, then there are two important things we need. First, we need to divide the continuous image into number of rows and number of columns. Second, this intersection between this row and columns are called as pixels. So here we have this all pixels. This is one pixel, this is another pixel, third pixel, so on. So these are all pixels. So that is the intersection of rows and column. That is, each point is a pixel. So that are picture element. Pixel is nothing but picture element. So these are pixels. And the integer value m comma n is nothing rows, and these pixels are given this integer value. So this pixel, I cannot say it as pixel 1, pixel 2. No, that is wrong. What we have to do is we have to label it as 0 comma 0, 0 comma 1, 0 comma 2. That is Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So we are going to follow Cartesian coordinate system for complete image, where pixels are given by this integer value, which is square bracket m comma n. So each pixel will be having this square bracket m comma n, that is 4 comma 5 pixel or 5 comma 6 pixel and so on. Okay, and the intensity at that particular pixel will be given by function of that particular point m comma n. Okay, so f of square bracket m comma n is nothing but the intensity at that particular pixel. In fact, in many cases, the f of x comma y, which is continuous image, which falls on the sensor of the camera or the capturing device, and this capturing device will convert the intensity. So in general, many device or images is where the intensity we say is not just the intensity of light, but is a function of intensity with the depth, color and time also. Okay, so it is the function of many different variables which actually gives us the final intensity value at that particular pixel. Okay, is this clear? Digital image definition in terms of mathematics. So digital image is nothing but it's an image which is derived from continuous image by applying the technique which is sampling. Of course, quantization is required. So sampling and quantization gives us digital, right? So continuous signal, how you convert continuous signal into digital signal? By sampling and quantization. Same way, continuous image is converted to digital image with the sampling and quantization. Now the important difference between the signals, continuous signal, 1D signal we talk about, and the image is that the signal we talk about is with respect to time. So whenever you draw a signal, how you draw it? You draw amplitude versus time, right? So that is with respect to time. Whereas images are intensity versus the space. It's not time, it's a space. That's why we call it as space signal, not time signal. It's a space signal. Images are space signal. This difference you need to understand clearly. So टाइम सिग्नल कौन से सिग्नल है जो सिग्नल टाइम के हिसाब से चेंज होते हैं. ओके, टाइम के हिसाब से चेंज होते हैं. पर्टिकुलर टाइम में वो सिग्नल का इंटेंसिटी यानी एम्पलीट्यूड इतना था, बाद में वो एम्पलीट्यूड कम हुआ या ज्यादा हुआ, जो भी चेंज हुआ, यानी टाइम चेंज हुआ तो सिग्नल भी चेंज हुआ. वेयर इमेजेस इमेजेस स्पेस इमेज, स्पेस सिग्नल है. यानी अभी ये इमेज अगर देखा तो ये जो यहाँ पे स्पेस है तो इंटेंसिटी ये, वही स्पेस चेंज किया तो क्या हुआ? इंटेंसिटी चेंज हुआ, राइट? सो स्पेस के हिसाब से इंटेंसिटी चेंज हो रहा. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज स्पेस इमेज. ओके, स्पेस सिग्नल. सो images are space signal, and that is 2D space signal. Whereas in general we came across many communication signals and all those in your digital signal processing. You came across 1D signals which are time signals. So same DSP concept can be applied to image, because image is also a signal. Only the change is, instead of time we are using space as our reference variable. Okay, I hope this is clear, everyone. Just please reply whether this thing is clear or not. Digital image is clear to you or not. Okay. Yeah. Good. So this is clear. So when we talk about this, then the common values. Now we got it. What is digital image? So once we got it digital image, then we can see what are common values. What are common values? We have rows, we have this columns, and we have intensities, right? So what should be the standard value for rows? What should be the standard value for columns? How the intensity? So I gave you 0 luminous to 10,000 luminous. Is it okay to have 0 to 10,000 value, or it should be less, or it should be more? What are these values which are commonly used for this different parameters in the digital image? So this common values, for example, for rows, most of the images are in 256 rows, 256 rows, 512 rows, 525 rows, 625 rows, or 1024 rows, or 1035 rows. These are common values which are adopted for making it easy for algorithms or techniques which can be used on image processing. Okay. This is limited to these values because of the techniques we use, the techniques like FFT, fast Fourier transform. So Fourier transform, to use Fourier transform, it's okay. We can use Fourier transform to any size of the signal. But if you want to use fast Fourier transform, then it should obey some limitations. And to make those limitations, the common values are this for rows, for columns, and as well as for gray levels. Gray levels can be 2. If gray levels are 2, then we can get only complete dark and complete white. That is complete black and complete white, which is called as black and white image. Or we can have gray value in terms of 2's power. So 64 is 2 power. So 256 is also 2 power. 1024 is also 2 power. So 64 is 2 power 4. No, 2 power 6. 64 is 2 power 6. 256 is 2 power 8. 1024 is 2 power 10. 4096 is 2 power 12. And 16,384 is, I think, around 2 power 16. I hope so. It's 2 power 16. Okay. So it will be gray level will be always in terms of 2 powers. Okay. So quite frequently what we see is m and n are of 2 power k, where k can be 8 or 9 or 10. Okay. Or this is adopted because the first Fourier transform can be used. First Fourier transform algorithm can be utilized for image processing, and the calculations becomes faster. And the gray levels will always be in 2's power, that is 2 power b, and b being number of bits. So the bits required to store the energy is because of this. Okay. So in general, if b is greater than 1, we have gray image, and if b is equal to 1, then we have only black and white, only two colors. That's why it will be black and white image. Okay. So we'll stop here for today. If you have any doubts, please ask. Have you understood this, the concept of visual information first? Next, the definition of digital image processing in terms of mathematics, of course. And third, the common values. Any doubts? Okay. If you don't have any doubts, then please give your attendance in chat box, and you can leave. In our last session, few of you haven't given the attendance in chat box, so I was not able to mark your attendance. So don't do that. Please give your attendance, then only you leave. It's okay to give 2 or 3 times your attendance so that it will be recorded perfectly. So while joining the session, give the attendance, and while leaving the session, give the attendance. At least 2 times you have to give the attendance. Is there any doubts? Rohini, Pranali, Dhananjay, Rathod, Rohini,